Hello there, Pastor Kelly McQuaig coming to you from our Alamogordo campus of Grace United Methodist Church. And I am so excited to be able to announce to you today that we are back, or at least we will be beginning June 14th, right here in our sanctuary and also in our Tularosa sanctuary. Now, you know that the reality is that we've never gone away. We have continued to be the church in exciting and new ways during the season. But like you, I am so excited to be back at both of our Alamogordo and Tularosa campus this Sunday morning for worship. I'm also really excited to say that our online worship experience on Facebook and YouTube is here to stay. So while you may not be ready to join us in person on the 14th, and that is totally okay, as that might be the best decision for you and your family at this time, you'll still be able to worship with us online, and I sure hope you do. Now, in a minute, I'm going to share with you all the details that you need to know about how we're going to keep our in-person sanctuary worship experience as safe and as healthy for everyone who chooses to come. I'm excited for this experience, and I just ask for a few minutes of your time, so be patient with me, bear with me as we work through what a Sunday morning is going to look like, both here in Alamogordo and on our Tularosa campus. Now, one of the first things that I know everybody's dying to know is what time are we worshiping and what is it going to look like and where are we going to be going? Okay, so here are our worship times and locations. First service of the day is going to be at 8 a.m. right here on our Alamogordo campus, okay? 8 a.m. right here. There's not going to be online streaming at the moment, so if you want to worship with us at 8, your only option is to be physically present with us right here in our Alamogordo campus. Then at 9:30 a.m., we're going to be offering a second service right here in Alamogordo at our Alamogordo campus, and that will also be the service that is streamed live on our Facebook and our YouTube page. So if you're wanting to worship with us online, pay attention to that 9:30 time because that's a little bit different than what we've been doing. We've been worshiping online at 10 a.m. Our online worship is now switching to 9:30 a.m., which will be the same time as our second service here at our Alamogordo campus. So remember, 8 a.m. in Alamogordo, physical campus only, no online worship at 8 a.m. Then at 9:30, another service at our Alamogordo sanctuary, and that will also be our online streaming service as well. And then our third service of the day will be our 11 a.m. service at our Tularosa campus in Tularosa, New Mexico. So you really have 4 worshiping options for us every Sunday morning for the foreseeable future. 8 a.m. here in Alamogordo, 9:30 a.m. here in Alamogordo, 11 a.m. in Tularosa, and also 9:30 a.m. online on Facebook and YouTube. I can't wait to see you at one of those services this coming Sunday. But along with those service times, it's important for you to know that all other church activities, including Sunday morning Sunday school classes and fellowship hours, will remain suspended until further notice. Now, before anybody comes to one of our campuses for worship, we are expecting everyone who plans to join us for any on-campus sanctuary worship to check for the following symptoms. Please check for if you have a fever. Please see if you have a sore throat. Consider if you have the chills. These symptoms plus a cough. Maybe you've been coughing a lot that morning. You need to check out for that. A headache. Any repeated shaking with chills. Any shortness of breath that you've been experiencing lately. Any muscle pain that you may have. Or a loss of taste or smell. If you believe you may have any of these symptoms, any of the symptoms I just listed, please do not come to either of our Alamogordo or Tularosa physical campuses for worship. Please consider worshiping online at 9:30 on Facebook or YouTube. So instead of coming to our physical campus, you can worship online at 9:30. Also, if you have any of these symptoms, we strongly encourage you out of a place of Christ-like love to contact your healthcare provider and discuss these symptoms with them because we want you to be taken care of and healthy as well. We trust that all vulnerable persons, such as older adults or those with serious underlying health conditions, we trust that they are all using your best judgment before you begin to worship with us in person. All right, you've checked your symptoms. You know you're ready to come to in-person worship in one of our sanctuaries. And as you get to our building, what can you expect? Well, here's what's happening when you arrive at the church and when you walk into the sanctuary. When you arrive in your car at our campuses, I want to remind you that parking will remain as it always was. However, only the east sanctuary doors, the doors that I'm standing by right now at our Alamogordo campus, the ones on Cuba Avenue, and the sanctuary doors at the top of the stairs at our Tularosa campuses, those doors will be the only doors that are unlocked. And we ask that those who are able to park farther away from these doors to do so, to allow closer parking spaces for those who may not be able to walk as far. So once again, only the Cuba Avenue doors at our Alamogordo campus will be unlocked, and only the doors at the top of the sanctuary steps at our Tularosa campus will be unlocked and propped open, okay? And only the sanctuary doors of both campuses will be the doors that we hope that you are using. This will help us eliminate contact on surfaces. It'll help us control traffic to make everything as safe and as healthy as possible. All other doors on both campuses of here at Alamogordo and at Tularosa will be locked. And we ask that you please do not attempt to enter into our buildings through any of those doors. Yes, even if you have a key, please only come in the unlocked and propped open doors that have already been mentioned. As you approach the approved entrances, a gloved and masked greeter will welcome you. We want to continue to welcome you with Christ-like love, and we are so excited about our volunteers who have stepped up to the plate and said, yes, I want to greet our people as we come back to sanctuary. You will notice hand sanitizing stations. I'm standing right beside one, immediately as you enter both of our campuses, so that everyone can sanitize their hands the moment they step into our campus. So please do that as you come. Anything that may be handed to you on a variety of Sundays for a variety of reasons will only be handed to you at the entrance of our sanctuaries by a gloved and masked volunteer. These could be printed handouts, communion elements, etc. We will hand those to you in a safe and healthy manner, and they will always be set up and put in our narthex areas by a gloved and masked volunteer ahead of your arrival. Printed handouts and orders of worship will not be as prevalent as they once were to reduce the risk of exposure. So please be patient with us as we make that shift as well. Also, as you enter into our sanctuaries, you will notice a clear entrance flow of traffic as you enter to our campuses. We ask that you follow these traffic paths as you find a place to sit. If you need any help locating a place to sit, please contact one of our ushers or our greeters who would be happy to help you. We ask that you don't congregate in the parking lot or in the narthex or foyer areas or in the sanctuary. We ask that you would simply enter into the doors, sanitize your hands, be sure to pick up any worship elements that our gloved and masked greeters may be handing out, and find a place to sit and prepare yourself for worship. Now, if you're anything like me, a question that I've been asking for weeks now when it comes to returning back to our congregations is, what about masks? As masks are required in all public spaces by the state of New Mexico at this time, we are encouraging everyone who worships at our physical campuses here in Alamogordo or Tularosa to wear a mask when they join us for Sunday morning worship, unless otherwise advised by a healthcare provider. Now, no one will be turned away for not wearing a mask. That's not the type of church we want to be. And we will continue to be the church that welcomes everyone. So if you come in and you just are simply not comfortable wearing a mask, you are still welcome. Okay. For those who may want a new handmade, individually packaged face mask, plenty will be available in our foyers of both of our sanctuaries. If you prefer to use one of these masks when you come in, we would ask that you just take one of them. They will be laid out clearly on a table, and we ask that you only touch the ones that you will be using. And we ask that you keep it with you. Use it throughout the week. Be sure to keep it clean, and be sure to bring it back with you the following week so that we can be sure to have plenty of masks for all all who want them. All working staff and worship volunteers will be wearing a mask unless they are seated in the chancel area. That's the front area of our sanctuaries for the leadership of worship. We trust that everybody is using their best judgment and are prayerfully discerning if they are going to be wearing a mask when it comes to in sanctuary worship. And we trust that we all do our part to keep ourselves and one another healthy. And I just ask that you humbly consider that masks are a powerful way to do that. But once again, nobody will be turned away. Everybody will be invited, masked or unmasked. I am excited to worship with each and every one of you. Okay, you've made it to one of our campuses, you've walked into our narthex and our foyer areas, you've received any worship elements that are being handed out to you, and now you're trying to find your seat. And so what do we do about social distancing in our pews and in our seating areas? Well, we are encouraging all worshiping units to practice social distancing of at least 6 feet during your entire time on campus. Okay, so what's a unit? Well, a unit refers to an individual, a couple, or a family who have already been exposed to one another. As you enter into your sanctuaries, you will notice that every other pew will be closed off, either by a ribbon or a sign. It'll be fairly clear to you. Please do not attempt to sit in a pew that is clearly marked as closed. This is a vital part of us being able to come back to worship. Even if it's the pew you've been sitting in for decades, please only sit in an open pew. Now, every other pew will be open and it will have 6-foot blocks marked on it. As you can see, some of the blocks here at our Alamogordo campus marked by blue tape. We ask that units, remember that's individuals, couples, and families, sit a full 6-foot block away from any other unit in that pew. So every unit, whether you're an individual, a couple, or a family, should have a full 6-block unit in between you and the other unit. Now, at some of our campuses, there will only be limited seating. At some of those services, available overflow seating will be available, such as seating available in the fellowship hall, in a clean and sanitized fellowship hall here at our Alamogordo campus at the 9:30 service only. The online stream from the sanctuary at that time will be displayed on a projector screen in the fellowship hall. For the 11 a.m. Tularosa campus service, overflow seating will be offered in the cleaned and sanitized fellowship hall in the basement during that 11 a.m. service using a closed circuit audio system. So you'll be able to hear the service at Tularosa if you're in the overflow seating, but you won't be able to see it. And so you need to be sure to be here on time to get a seat in the sanctuary if you want to be in our sanctuary space. In both of these overflow areas, the fellowship hall at Tularosa and in Alamogordo, again, it will be cleaned and sanitized, and 6-foot spacing will be available to you there. Now, just a reminder, at our 8 a.m. service here in Alamogordo, there will not be overflow seating. And so if you come to that 8 a.m. service and we simply run out of space utilizing our social distancing practices, we want to invite you to return to 9:30 to sit either in the sanctuary or the fellowship hall, or we would like to invite you to worship with us online. There should be plenty of options for everyone to be able to worship with us. Now, I would ask a few of you to consider to go ahead and just decide that you're going to worship online or you're going to worship in our overflow space to make room in our sanctuaries for others. It's a very Christ-like thing to do. It's a very humble thing to do, to say, I'm going to set aside. I'm either going to stay at home or I'm going to go into the overflow space in the fellowship halls of our campuses, and I'm going to allow somebody else to experience worship in the sanctuary. I would invite everybody to pray over that possibility. And I think it would be a beautiful thing for us to truly show one another what Christ-like love looks like at this time, as we are sure to give ourselves for others so that everyone can have a wonderful worship experience as we keep a safe social distance of at least 6 feet from one another. We are a body who celebrates communion, and we celebrate Holy Communion regularly. We celebrate communion every single Sunday in our physical campus here at Alamogordo, and we celebrate Holy Communion every first Sunday of the month at our physical campus in Tularosa. But like many other aspects of returning to our sanctuary, communion is going to change a bit as well. When you enter into one of our campuses on a Communion Sunday, again, that's every Sunday in Alamogordo and every first Sunday of the month in Tularosa, you'll find a masked and gloved person handing out one of these. It's an individually packaged communion wafer and juice element set. Every single worshiper who wishes to have one of these will be welcome to. You will hold on to these elements for the entirety of the service leading up to the time of communion, which I am blessed to preside over. Now then, remaining in your pew and your seat, we will not be coming forward to the front of the sanctuary. We will not be able to come to our kneeling rails. We will participate together as we open in our packages and partake in communion as one body. Masked and gloved ushers will be standing by to assist anybody who might need help opening their packages. Just acknowledge them, wave at them, and they will come over and help you. Trash receptacles will be accessible as you exit the sanctuary at the end of the service to dispose of your emptied element packages. So be sure and hold on to these for the entirety of the service, even after you partake in communion, so that you can help us keep our sanctuary clean and dispose of these as you exit the sanctuary. One of the most beloved aspects of worshiping together as a body is the music. And so what are we going to do about congregational singing in our choirs? Well, for us to be able to return to our sanctuaries in a way that is safe for everyone during this time of a global pandemic, we are discontinuing all vocal choirs and ensembles, as well as congregational singing. And we are doing this because studies are showing that the lung energy used in singing greatly increases the spread of COVID-19 among groups of people. While this may be one of the most challenging changes that we're facing as we return to on-campus worship, both here in Alamogordo and Tularosa, we believe that our personal presence with one another is more important than our most beloved hymns. And believe me, church, I love our hymns. I love singing with you. But you know what I love more? I love being in the same room worshiping with you. So yes, it is worth it for me to be able to see the image of God in you on a Sunday morning, even if it means I can't sing the hymn that I want to sing. Christians have been conscious and wise about health and safety for 2,000 years of worship, and we want to continue to operate out of that wisdom at Grace during this time. Creative ways of worship that involve everybody, that involve the participation of everybody, including vocal solos and instrumental pieces, spoken prayers, call and response psalms, and reading hymns, etc., will be used. And we're excited, so excited, about how God will teach us all new things as we discover a new way of worshiping together. Now, at Grace here in Alamogordo and Tularosa, we still want to continue the practice of keeping attendance. We love knowing who's worshiping with us. It's what we do as Christians. We worship together, and it's important for us to know who is with us. It's especially important now in the case that we have somebody worship with us on Sunday who tests positive for COVID-19 on Tuesday. We want to be able to contact everybody and let them know that they were in the same room with somebody who now tests positive. So before each service, a gloved and masked volunteer has placed a new clean offering envelope and new clean pins in each and every pew. We're asking every unit to fill out and turn in one of these envelopes, even if they are not using it for their financial offering. During the service, grab one individual per unit. Remember, that's an individual person, a couple, or a family. Fill it out using the pin. If you didn't bring your own, we will put these pins in the pews with you. Fill it out with the names of your party on the front, and then insert your financial offering, if you have one, into the envelope. And then at the end of the service, as you exit, place it in the offering collection boxes in the narthex and the foyer areas as you exit the sanctuaries when you go to your car. We encourage you to use one of your own pins if you have one. Again, if you need to use one of the provided pew pins, please do not put it back in the pew. I'm not going to put this one back. I just touched it. I'm not going to put this back. I just touched it. Whatever you touch, we ask that you take with you. Pins are cheap, guys, and enjoy the pin that you touched, and we will replace it with a sanitized and cleaned ones by a masked and gloved volunteer. If you do take a pin, again, take it with you and consider bringing it back next week. I can't again stress how important it is that we know who is here with us. That is part of our responsibility to our community to keep one another safe. And so we strongly encourage you to participate in our attendance practice by writing your name and the name of your party on one of these offering envelopes and put it into the offering box at the end of the service, even if you are not placing your financial offering into one of these envelopes. Now, just as you entered along a clear traffic path, you will exit along another clear traffic path. At the end of the service, ushers will guide people along these exit paths, pew by pew. Please wait in your seat and enjoy the postlude music until it is time for your pew to exit the sanctuary. Remember, as you are exiting, be sure to look for the trash receptacles for your empty communion element packages. We ask that everybody would be responsible and throw, like for instance, here's a trash can right before we go into the narthex. Make sure and throw any trash you have away into those so that it makes cleanup of our sanctuaries as easy as possible in preparation for the next service. Also, be sure to look out for the collection boxes or plates for your attendance and your offering envelope that you passed out. Now, as much as I love doing this, for this season of our life and ministry together, I will no longer be going to the back of the sanctuary to shake your hands and tell you goodbye at the end of the service. I love doing it, but it's just something that we are going to need to stop doing for a while as we continue to try to keep one another safe. We ask that you don't congregate in the sanctuary or in the narthex or the foyer areas or even in the parking lot as you leave the campus. We ask that you do your part to keep one another safe, and when we are done with worship, you follow the ushers as they guide you out of your pews, you follow the traffic pattern out of the sanctuaries, and then you go to your parking lot and enjoy the rest of your day as you leave and you go home blessed, having been nourished by the Spirit as we worship together. Now, remember that the only activities that are currently going on our campus are during the worship time, which also means that we are discontinuing any nursery or children's Sunday schools. Now, please hear me. Children are of utmost importance to us, and they are always welcome at both of our physical campuses at this time. However, to keep everybody safe, we will not be providing any nursery ministry at this time, nor will children be able to come up to the front of our sanctuaries for a children's moment or a sermon with myself or another adult volunteer. Now, even though all other church activities are canceled, our restrooms are still open, and praise God, that's a wonderful thing, right? Should you need to use one of our cleaned and sanitized restrooms at either of our campuses, feel free to do so, but please do not venture into any other area of our buildings. The sanctuaries and our public restrooms should be the only areas of our campuses that are used on Sunday mornings. In closing, I do want you to know just how excited I am to worship with you. And honestly, I don't care where you worship. I just hope that you worship with us, either here on our campuses or online at one of our online services. For those who do choose to come to our campuses, let me say this. Our ability to continue to worship together here in our sanctuaries greatly relies on your ability as a congregation to follow the guidelines that I've shared with you today. Each of these guidelines are required of us to open up by the Center for Disease Control or the state of New Mexico for us to be able to come back to our physical spaces and worship here just as we've been worshiping in our homes. We trust that the Holy Spirit wisdom will rest on each and every one of us as we make the choice to return to our campuses or not. And if we do choose to return to in-person worship in our sanctuaries, I pray that no matter where we worship, online, Tularosa, or Alamogordo, that God would fill us even more with His Spirit, and that we will continue to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world like never before. Because through it all, best of all, whether we're in our sanctuaries or not, God is with us. Pastor Kelly McQuaig here, signing off, and so excited to see you at any of our campuses here in Alamogordo, in Tularosa, or online this upcoming Sunday. and every Sunday afterwards. God is up to some amazing things, folks, and I'm so blessed to be experiencing and discovering those things right along with you. Take care, be blessed. We'll see you Sunday.